joining us for the family series of IrishFest. Over the next hour, we have a compilation of videos featuring performances by our young, local, and southeastern Irish musicians, a puppet show, a craft, storytelling by Irish, and an Irish language lesson. And in a separate video, we have interviews with some of Atlanta's Irish music and dance talent. We hope you enjoy.
Hi, I'm Kara Doppel, and this is my really good friend,
Mackenzie Sarr.
and we were both born on St. Patrick's Day. And today we're going to be playing a couple of jigs for you, and then later we're going to do a treble drill.
I am Rose Hardison, and I play the alien pipes, and we would like to play Gallagher's Frolic for you.
And I play the Whistle, and we would like to play the Sally Garden Reel for you.
is Charlotte Ling, and today I'll be playing a tune for you called Mama's Pet.
Hi, my name is Devin. He's Scott Van Dyke, and I'm going to play a Lilting Banshee.
Butterfly slip dig. Rights of Man.
My name is Dane Sharp.
Hello and welcome to IrishFest. My name's Rob and I'm going to tell you the legend of Finn McCool. Once upon a time, in the beautiful island of Ireland, in the glorious county of Antrim, there lived the tallest, bravest, loudest giant called Finn McCool. Finn was married to the lovely Una, who kept him on his toes. One day, Finn was out doing not very much on the foothills of Slemish Mountain, when what did he see but another giant across the sea? And being Finn, of course, he shouted at this giant to get his attention. Now, the giant across the sea was taller, braver and louder than Finn, and he had a mean streak in him. When Finn shouted, "Hiya!" the giant across the sea shouted, "What's your problem?" Finn shouted, "I don't have a problem, unless you're my problem." And he laughed. And the other giant shouted, "Come here and say that." And Finn replied, "No problem." Oh, but there was a problem. There was no way to get to the other side. So Finn did what giants tend to do in these situations. He picked up a huge clod of earth and hurled it across the sea toward the other giant, whose name, by the way, was Benandonna. Now, the clod of earth flew through the air towards Scotland and Benandonna, but Finn had not really done his homework in terms of calculating the distance, the velocity, the trajectory, the arc, that kind of thing you have to do when throwing mountains or glaciers or canyons, you know, that sort of thing. So what he threw ended up in the middle of the sea, which is a blessing if you happen to go to the Isle of Man. But if you're a ship wanting to go in a straight line from Ireland to Scotland and you bump into the Isle of Man, well, that's a bit annoying. Anyway, the next day, Finn decided to make a road across the sea to Scotland. So he tore off chunks of headland and built the causeway. Not a big one, just big enough for himself to stroll across to Scotland, which he did. And when he got there, he got the shock of his life, because Benandonna was a giant's giant, and he scared the bejesus out of Finn. Finn skedaddled like a shadow of a whippet back to Ireland, and Benandonna chased after him like a heavy-set greyhound. Now, as soon as Finn got home, he burst into the kitchen and started at Una. There's a big thing. He's a giant. I'm telling you, mean as your mother. But we're all going to die. Save me. So Una gave him a slap to calm him down, which he shouldn't really do. And she came up with a plan. In a matter of minutes, Benandonna was hammering on the door. "Where's that Irish big mouth? I'm going to tear out his windpipe and play the sash on it." Oh, what a shame you just missed him. He was out putting the finishing touches to a new garden path, and now he's off tending the sheep. And would you mind not shouting? You'll wake the baby. And wouldn't you like a cup of tea while you're waiting? Have a seat, sir. Benandonna stared at her. Then he sat down. "Do you take milk and sugar?" He nodded slowly. So Benandonna had a cup of tea with milk and sugar and waited for Finn. And while he sat and waited, Una went over to the cot and began to sing a little lullaby to the wee baby. Oh, it was a beautiful sight. Except for the fact that the baby had a large black beard over his big neck and his feet were a bit smelly. Benandonna looked at the baby with a kind of a strange look. "Oh, isn't he lovely?" Una cooed. "His daddy adores him." "That's a baby?" said Benandonna. "With a beard?" "I know his tiny little thing," said Una. "You should see his daddy Finn. Oh, he'll be home soon from the sheep." Now, Benandonna was a red-faced sort of giant, but this scene made the blood drain from his cheeks into his boots. He stood up, staggered, a little dizzy, pulled his hat tight on his head, gave a polite sort of bow to Una, and nearly broke the door on his way out. Una clapped her hands as Finn jumped out of the cot. He gave Una a big hug, and the two of them stood at the window watching as Ben and Donna fled across the causeway, pulling it up behind him as he went so Finn could never come and catch him. Huh. And if you're in Ireland, you should drive round the coast and see what Ben and Donna left at the Giant's Causeway. And if you happen to drive south a bit and west a bit, you'll come across a huge puddle of water called Loch Ness. And if you're clever, and I think you are, you'll notice that it's shaped a little bit like the Isle of Man. Drive safe. Bye.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Doppel Montgomery, and today I'm going to show you how to make an easy Irish craft like this. You will need some pipe cleaners, a bell if you would like to add that, and some ribbon. You want to take your pipe cleaner and wrap it around your finger and then twist it twice clockwise. Then wrap it around your finger counterclockwise and twist it twice clockwise. Wrap it again around your finger counterclockwise and then twist it twice clockwise to where you have 3 loops and a stick. Then you'll take each loop and make an indentation in the center to make your clover leaves. Then you can take a little bell, which I got at Hobby Lobby, but they also sell them at Michael's or the dollar store, and just put the pipe cleaner through here and twist it to make sure it's secure. Then grab some ribbon and stick it through and make a nice little bow. Then you can take it and use it as a Christmas ornament or decorate with it any way you would like. This one I made in the Irish flag colors. Thanks for joining, and I hope you've enjoyed learning how to make a clover out of pipe cleaners. Enjoy the rest of IrishFest. This is the story of the king with donkey's ears. Long, long ago in County Cork, there lived an old widow and her son. One day, a messenger of the king came to their cottage. The king has summoned your son to the castle tomorrow morning. He has a special job for him. This made the poor widow very worried. You see, her son was a barber, and once a year the king sent for a barber to cut his hair. The problem was that no barber ever returned home after cutting the king's hair. No one in the kingdom knew that the king had a terrible secret. The problem was that the king had to have his hair cut in a very special way to hide his strange ears. His ears looked exactly like the ears of a donkey. Every barber that had ever cut the king's hair was banished and never seen again. The king was so frightened that his secret would be revealed. The next morning, the old woman went to go see the king at his castle.
Your Majesty, please don't send my son away. He is all I have left in this world. If he is gone, I will have no one to care for me.
This made the king feel very sorry for the old woman, so he thought about it for a while.
I promise I will not send your son away on one condition. Your son must never tell another living soul what he sees at the castle.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
The next day, the son arrived at the castle to cut the king's hair. He had the surprise of his life when he started cutting his hair. The barber saw the king's donkey's ears, but the barber was clever and knew if he didn't want to be banished, he had to keep the secret. So he said nothing to anyone. As time went by, the barber's mother noticed that her son was not acting as he usually does. He was not sleeping nor eating. When she asked him what was bothering him, he would not answer. She did not know what else to do, so she sent for a druid to see if he could help.
Unfortunately, there is nothing I can do for him. He knows a terrible secret and has promised to not tell any living person. Unless he tells the secret, he will never get better.
The wise druid went off to think for a while.
I know what your son must do to get rid of this problem. Tell him to go to the forest and find the tall willow tree next to the stream. He must then whisper the secret to the leaves, because he will not have told the secret to a living person. He will have not broken his promise.
The son found the tree as he was told by the druid. As soon as he whispered the secret to the willow tree leaves, he was freed from his burden and a giant weight was lifted off him. But this is not where the story ends. A little while later, the king's fiddle player went to the forest to cut wood for a new instrument. He thought that the tall willow tree by the stream would make the best sounding fiddle. When the new fiddle was finished, the musician went to play for the king and his court. As he began to play, a strange song began coming from the fiddle.
The king has donkey's ears, the king has donkey's ears. The king has donkey's ears, the king has donkey's ears.
The king froze in terror. The fiddle had revealed his secret, but when he looked around, he saw that no one was laughing at him or was afraid of his crazy ears. The king was so relieved.
Now I'll never have to hide my donkey's ears again.
Hi, my name is Winslow Thomas. I'll be reading for Irish Theatre a story, an old Irish folktale called The Hunchback of Knockmora. Now, it's a poor village in Ireland that can't afford its own hunchback. For as everyone knows, the poor fellas bring luck to a locality. Now having a hunchback is not quite the same thing as having a village idiot, where in most places everyone can simply take their turn at it. No, a tried and true hunchback, one fumbled by God in the making, is not to be attempted by amateurs. Within there is a certain amount of tailoring and adjustment in garments, so to avoid these complications of fashion, it is indeed a fortunate village to have a hunchback to call their own. And luck must have smiled on the village of Knockmora, for they had not one, but 2 hunchbacks to bless their days. Now, the one hunchback was called Lushmore, and a kinder gentleman you'll not find stooped or straight, for he was quiet courtesy itself, and had a handful of clever fingers that could fashion every sort of bright thing that was sure to bring a fair price at market. He lived alone at the brow of the mountain. Despite the daily jeers of neighbourhood children and the loud confusion he set upon the dogs, he lived life peaceable enough. Now, the other hunchback, Musha by name, was a cripple of another twist altogether. He lived in the village with his father and did not work, but lived off his family's kindness and generosity, and never a thank you was heard out of him. Sure, he spent his days bemoaning his condition, and he had a hatful of guilt for all those who came near his siring and birth. Now one day Lushmore, that's the kindlier of the two, was walking home from the fair, and it being late, night fell full upon him. So he thought to himself, well, I'll just spend the night here by this standing stone, for it would provide some shelter from the cruel wind that's starting from the north. He carefully checked the ground for mushrooms, which all know are wee shelters for the fairy folk, and finding none, he sets his hunch against the rock and is soon nodding off to sleep, when suddenly he hears, coming up from the ground where he was resting, the sound of 10,000 voices all topped together in song, and this was the song they sang.
Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. Monday, Tuesday.
Now Lushmore listened to this for a good part of the night, and he couldn't sleep for the tune. So he ups and joins them and sings respectful like. Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and your Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Well, there was a long silence, and suddenly the fairy rath opened up, and out poured 10,000 of the gentry. They picked up Lushmore and they carried him down to their kingdom deep in the ground, and they placed him before the old one, who was obviously a person of some authority, as he was sitting in a sock hanging from the wall. And the old one said, "Are you the one who sang the song?" "Oh, I am, your honour," said Lushmore, "but I meant no disrespect by it." And the old fairy said, "We have been working for 10,000 years on an ending to that song, and you've given it to us." And with that, they broke into the wildest party that should ever be had, and their fiddler struck up a jig, and Lushmore's mug was filled with whiskey, and did not know emptiness throughout the evening. And when dawn at last was rising upon the hills, the old one said, "Now, Lushmore, you have done us a great service this day, so what would you have us do for you? Speak your wish." And Lushmore thought and thought, but could not come up with a thing he truly needed. And the old one said, "Could I make a suggestion? How would it be if we took that hump off you?" "What hump?" said Lushmore. "Why, the one on your back there," says the old one. "Well now," says Lushmore, "that would be fine." And so they took off his hump, and they put it under an old sack in the corner, and they set Lushmore on his way in the brightest bit of new clothes that you have ever seen. And Lushmore fair danced down the road, so light was his back, now that the hump was gone from it. And who should Lushmore meet but the other hunchback's father coming down the road? "Where's your hump, Lushmore? And where did you get the bright new clothes?" And Lushmore told him about the fairy wrath and the song he finished for the wee folks singing. "I wish my son, the other hunchback and great Abaddon, could win the same." Well, Lushmore was always a kind heart at it, and he wished happiness on all others recently afflicted. And so he told the old man to tell his son to sleep under the standing stone, to sing the song as he sung it, and to see what may be. And the old man ran home to tell his son the story of Lushmore and his lost hump. Well, Musha dashed out of the house that night and made his way to the standing stone. He was not careful, but sat down where he pleased, crushing mushrooms and sending fairy folk flying for cover. And then, as the night passed, he heard some 10,000 voices singing,
Monday, Tuesday, Monday.
And Musa did not wait for his time, but busted in with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, take this hump off of me. Well, there was a long silence. And suddenly the ground opened up with 10,000 of the fairy, all madder than wet bees, and they carried Musha screaming down into their kingdom and set him before the old fella. He looked down at the hunchback and said, "Are you the one who sang the song?" "I am," said Musha. "Now what are you going to do about it?" He was a rude, queer sort of fella. And the old one said, "For 10,000 years we've been working on the end to that song, and just last night we got the tail of it, and tonight you come along and set it off wrong again. We have a special present for you now." And with that, they took Musha over to where the other hunch was resting, and they nailed it to his back with a good many 10-penny nails, so it matched the first one. And then they took him and threw him out on the road. And as Musha dragged himself home, his nose made a furrow in the road that can still be seen there to this day. The end.
Hi, welcome to IrishFest. I'm going to speak a little bit about the Irish language. The Irish language is the native language of Ireland, as well as the English language. The two languages are quite different, and I will show you a few examples. Irish is still spoken in Ireland, and the children still learn Irish in school. My name is Kathleen. You say, Cochleen is Anam Dom. Now, so who do we have there today? Who's watching us today? Is there a Mary watching us today? Then you say, Mary is Anam Dom. Roger? Is there a Roger watching? Roger is Anam Dom. Ivy? Ivy is Anam Dom. We're going to do a little warm-up with the roly-poly. And when I put my hands up, we say, suis, suis, suis. When I put them down, we go, she is, she is, she is. And then to go out, we say, amok, amok, amok. To go in, we're going to say, is jock, is jock, is jock. So join me for the warm-up. Roly-poly, roly-poly. Suis, suis, suis. Roly-poly, roly-poly. She is, she is, Shiz. Roly-poly, roly-poly, amok, amok, amok. Roly-poly, roly-poly. Is jock, is jock, is jock. Now, I'm going to teach you to count to 1 to 3 in the Irish language. First of all, 1. We say ain, and it looks like A-Y-N. Ain. Dough is 2, just kind of like you'd say cookie dough. And you see it has a little wee dash on the O. Dough. 3. 3 is very simple. It sounds like tree in the yard, but it's tree. That's how we spell tree. And it has a little accent, a little dash there on the I. Okay. Ain, dough, tree. Now, I hope you're familiar with the shamrock. We are going to use the shamrock to help you count for a second. We have 3 hearts on our shamrocks. They look like 3 hearts. Got ain is 1. Dough is 2. Second heart. Ooh, this one dropped. And tree for 3 hearts. All right. Ain, dough, tree. Now I'm going to talk about the Irish flag for a second. We have, again, 3 colors in the Irish flag. Ain, dough, tree. Our first color, you have to go from left to right. First one is green always, and you say gloss, and it sounds like gloss, like something's glossy. Gloss. The middle one is white, and we say bon, and it, see the little dash there on the A, bon. And our third one is orange. It's a little longer. It is Órasta. O has a long, or has an accent on it, and so has the A there. Órasta. All right. Now, thank you for joining us today. And when we say goodbye, we say slán. See here it says S-L-A-W-N. Slán. Goodbye.
Hi, this is the Button family. My name is Atticus and I am 9 years old.
My name's Alora and I'm 11 years old.
My name is Loki and I'm 12 years old. And the songs we are going to be playing...
I'm Yuli!
The songs we are going to be playing are Butterfly and Radican's Mother. 1, 2, 3, 4. but I'm gonna play. I am 6 years old and I'm gonna be playing Kiwi Polka. Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
1, 2.